Welcome to your school news. I'm Jason Dergala. There's a lot of great things happening here in the school system. Along with watching this show, we hope you like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. Now for a look at our top headlines. Board of Education special meeting notes, NHCS, Live Oak Bank, and the county partner to offer free Wi-Fi spots, and a motivational speaker visits Carolina Beach Elementary and inspires the staff. Our top story this week. The New Hanover County Board of Education held a special meeting on Wednesday, January 13th. There were several items on the agenda, but the focus was pre-K through students 5 returning to school under Plan A. With all the news and notes is YSN reporter Elijah Lotzenheiser.
The board held a special meeting on January 13th that ran 4 hours long and focused on discussions of the transition from K through 5 students and staff to Plan A, among other things. Let's get right into the board notes. Under information, an update on the COVID-19 data and research findings provided by ABC Collaborative and New Hanover County Public Health and Human Services was presented. Also under information, the board was updated in support services and programs for K through 12 students and staff from Assistant Superintendent from Student Support Services, Julie Varnum. Under old business, NHCS senior staff first gave an update for the board on the status of the preparations and successes and challenges for the pre-K through 5 transition to Plan A. After a lengthy discussion by the board voted 6-1 for grades pre-K through the 5th grade to remain under Plan C remote learning until January 22nd, and then grades pre-K through 5th will transition to the Plan B AABB schedule on January 25th. Middle and high school plans remain unchanged. Also under old business, the board reviewed numerous and new policies for the second reading and reconsidered various policies that have been replaced in the new policy manual. Lastly, under new business, the board discussed new procedures for the board meetings that would optimize meetings and create a more effective agenda. Additionally, new standards for the periodic review of the superintendent were considered and discussed by the board. The next regular Board of Education meeting will be Tuesday, February 2nd at 5:30 p.m. at the Board of Education Center. Also, if you cannot attend the meeting in person, you can watch the meeting live and rebroadcast it here on NHCS TV. Spectrum Cable, Channel 5. Reporting for Your School News, this is Elijah Lotzenheiser.
Now just a reminder from that meeting. NHCS will operate under Plan C for grades pre-K through 5 with remote learning for all through Friday, January 22nd. Grades 6 through 12 will continue to operate under Plan B AABB schedule. Grades pre-K through 5 will transition to Plan B AABB schedule on Monday, January 25th. Health data will be assessed on a continuous basis and updates will be posted as they become available at nhcs.net and on NHCS's Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram platforms. Chef Valerie Lingo of CTEC has been selected as a Wilmington 60 Strong ambassador. The Wilmington 60 Strong program is a celebration of residents around the Cape Fear in their 60s who have overcome major health challenges and reached new levels of fitness. Chef Valerie was selected along with 11 other seniors to be featured in an exclusive 2021 calendar that highlights events around Wilmington and serves as a roadmap to good health. Chef Valerie worked in the corporate environment for 30 years, but moved to North Carolina 12 years ago to manage the family restaurant and focus on her health and fitness. While working with New Hanover County Schools, Chef Valerie has become a model of composure and steadfastness for her students, family, and the greater Wilmington community. The calendars are on sale right now, and all the proceeds benefit the YMCA of Southeastern North Carolina. Congratulations, Chef Valerie, and all other ambassadors. The New Hanover County government has partnered up with New Hanover County Schools and Live Oak Bank to expand their free Wi-Fi services around the county using hotspots. This is all an effort to try and give kids and the community more access to the internet. Demand and need for readily accessible internet has become greater with the COVID-19 pandemic. You can go to nhcgov.com and there you will find a map of all the locations for the free Wi-Fi. The county and school system believe that by providing broader access to the internet, it is a step forward in terms of equity.
I think it makes them feel that they are on a more equal footing. You know, lack of access is really hard on those that don't have it. They're always feeling like they're behind or they're not able to do the things they need to do, and especially now with so much of the work being in the cloud and via the internet. So it really levels the field for them.
Teaching during the pandemic has been oftentimes very stressful. Teachers have been asked to adapt from remote to hybrid to in-person and back again, all on short notice. To help refresh and inspire teachers and staff, Deanna Leak, principal of Carolina Beach Elementary, brought in a special guest. Motivational speaker Chad Porter visited the school with a powerful message of encouragement. YSN reporter Caleb Hall brings us the full report.
On Friday at Carolina Beach Elementary School, Chad Porter, a motivational speaker, came to inspire the teachers to face challenges brought on by the pandemic. We talked with the principal about how the teachers had to adjust to the new virus.
So March 13th of 2020, our teachers' lives were flipped upside down without any warning, and they really had to abandon everything that they know about teaching and readjust the way in which they have always taught. They had to persevere through a lot of unexpected challenges and obstacles that came their way, and they did so, and they have really learned a lot about themselves and their potential as a result of that. They have grown from this, and they continue to grow from this. We have today invited Chad Porter, who is the author of Severed Dreams and a motivational speaker, to be with us today to share his own story of perseverance and how he overcame some unexpected obstacles that came his way and has in turn become better and stronger because of it. And it is my hope that we will be able to use this opportunity to reflect upon our own growth and to continue to grow and to really look forward to coming out on the other side of this that much better and that much stronger and that much better equipped to meet the needs of our students.
Chad Porter shared his inspirational story with the teachers by explaining to them that it's not always going to be easy and there will be some obstacles in the way.
When we are faced with an obstacle and it's something that we've seen others get through, or maybe we've been through before on our own, it's a little bit easier to control those situations. But when you're faced with something that you've never had to deal with before, you've never known anybody that's dealt with it before, you can't imagine even going through it, it's a lot harder to control those things. It's a lot harder to grasp what to do and how to, so you just want to ball up in a ball and get in the fetal position and suck your thumb and just hope it all goes away. It didn't go away. That's why I love teachers, man. You guys are so resilient. Unbelievable. I've seen it my whole life. You just figure it out. You just figure it out because you don't have a choice. You figure it out. Not saying that you're not stressed out about it. Not saying that you haven't lost sleep about it. Of course you have. And it's okay. It's okay to feel the way that you're feeling. It's okay to be frustrated. But it won't last forever.
The teachers were very inspired after this speech, that they gave him a gift bag for how moving his speech was.
This is Yerk School News, on cable and online. Look for our blue logo for all the latest news online at www.nhcs.net.
Not completing high school is more of a social thing than it was an academic thing. Even though all these years have passed, I still had that longing to have my diploma. I have a mentor, and she convinced me to continue my education.
No one receives a diploma alone.
If you're even considering getting your high school diploma, go get it. You can do it.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
Welcome back to Your School News. I'm Jason Dergala. It's time for our Education Index, a look around the nation and the world at some of the top stories in education. Topping the index, Italy has decided that it will reopen its primary and middle schools on January 7th, Secondary schools are also expected to reopen, but it is unknown currently when that will happen. About half of these students will still have to attend classes from home, relying on remote learning. After 2 months out of the classroom for Italian students and several regional and national lockdowns throughout the greater part of 2020, many have become skeptical about the efficiency of learning from home. According to research, 28% of students claim at least one of their classmates stopped attending classes. Researchers say that 34,000 could follow suit by the end of the year. Poor internet connections and lack of focus seem to be the biggest challenges. New COVID-19 measures will be applied at schools when they reopen. Regional leaders are also allowed to decide to delay the reopening date for high schools further if they believe it is necessary. Since the onset of the coronavirus pandemic, school districts and public health experts have sought to solve how to identify asymptomatic COVID-19 cases among students and staff. Asymptomatic carriers might come into school buildings and transmit the virus unknowingly, officials worry. After data from their testing program revealed that 5% of adults and nearly 10% of youth who did not report any COVID-19 exposure or symptoms tested positive for the virus. Now, new research from the Massachusetts Institute of Technology may provide a solution. An MIT research team found that artificial intelligence might be able to detect COVID-19 positivity at a high accuracy rate simply by a sound of one's cough recorded through a smartphone speaker, even for asymptomatic individuals. After researchers trained their model on tens of thousands of sample coughs and spoken words, they tested on 1,064 subjects, finding that the model accurately identified 98.5% of coughs from people who were confirmed to have COVID-19, including 100% of coughs from asymptomatic individuals. The MIT team is now working to incorporate their model into an app, which, if approved by the FDA, could provide a free, non-invasive pre-screen tool to help identify people who have COVID-19. Finally, in Los Angeles, students will be required to take the COVID-19 vaccine once it is widely available before children can attend classes, said the district superintendent, Austin Butner. The vaccine distribution campaign in the U.S. is still in its infancy, and rollouts of the vaccine are being prioritized for healthcare workers and elderly individuals. Though many states and other essential employees, including teachers, are beginning to receive the immunizations as well. It will likely be months before the vaccine becomes widely available for children, since drug companies are in the beginning phases of including them in ongoing vaccination trials. California Governor Gavin Newsom recently announced a $2 billion effort to reopen classrooms for in-person learning across the state of California, which is a welcome financial windfall for districts struggling to meet the cost for things like masks, sanitizing supplies, new ventilation systems, and more. The majority of the state's 6 million students haven't been back to school since they first shuttered at the onset of the coronavirus pandemic since last March. Butner stated in a video that this, quote, an enormous operational challenge lies ahead in providing the vaccine to essential workers in our schools, end quote. He also said that, quote, the best place to provide the vaccine is at the place the families trust and where students, staff, and families under most days in their local public school, end quote. And that's this week's Education Index, a quick look at some of the interesting education stories from around the nation and the world. Now don't go away. We'll be right back to your school news as it continues on cable and online. Look for our blue logo for all the latest news online at www.nhcs.net.
They call me Maxie, but I prefer tripod. I was your above-average four-legged homie, and then wham, bam, minivan. Some people pity me. Now that's lame. I still run, fetch, and swim. And the ladies love me. I'm the ultimate wingman. Just don't ask me to high five.
Welcome back to Your School News. I'm Jason Dragala. There's a lot going on Twitter these days, and with our NHCS chat hashtag, you can join in the conversation. Right now, it's time for our What's Tweeting segment, all the latest NHCS news and photos that are creating a buzz on Twitter. We begin today at Lane High, where two student athletes recently created a project to help local members of their sport. Cross-country runners Grayson Dower and Isabella Bufalini were devastated when COVID-19 stopped them from volunteering. In August, the two founded Project Run, a club that focuses on fundraising and outreach opportunities for Wilmington's running community. So far, the club has engaged in a beach cleanup, a fundraising car wash, and a food drive, with more events planned in the future. Keep up the great work, Grayson and Isabella. Our next story comes from Rowan Grice Middle, where the school staff gave out supplies to their students in one local neighborhood. Before the beginning of the semester, RGMS staff took time to visit students and families in Greenville Village. They gave out schedules, new supplies, and even a few smiles when staff took pictures with some of the families that visited. Great job, Rowan Grice Knights. Over at Trask Middle, the school announced that it will be hosting a fundraising day at a popular restaurant. On January 20th, the school will partner with McDonald's restaurant at 2519 North College Road in Wilmington. Go grab breakfast, lunch, or dinner at the eatery, and a portion of the sales will go to Trask. We can't wait to see you there, Trask Bears. We turn now to a star athlete who is beginning her final high school season. Ashley High School basketball player Sanaya Rivers, who is a nationally ranked high school player, starts playing this month and hopes to close out her high school basketball record with a bang. With one of the best high school player stats in the nation and a college scholarship at South Carolina, Sanaya hopes to continue her excellence in basketball in the new season while remaining humble as well. Good luck, Sanaya. Next, we look at Rachel Freeman Elementary, where the school has raised thousands of dollars for the improvements to their library through a fun challenge. The school's Shenanigan Challenge, which encourages physical fitness through a virtual exercise tour of Ireland, has so far raised over $6,000 for new books in the library. The challenge runs through March, and organizers are excited for additional money that will be donated in the coming weeks. Congratulations on the donations, Rachel Freeman. Our final story this week comes from Williston Middle, where the school students will be receiving new books thanks to the help of many sponsors. For the new semester, the students will be getting new books from their annual Scholastic Book Fair. However, dozens of books that will be available to the students were paid for thanks to donors who contribute to the Adopt a Readers program. The school's librarian was especially excited to surprise the school students with the new books. Thank you, Scholastic and sponsors. This is Your School News, on cable and online. Look for our blue logo for all the latest news online at nhcs.net. Also make sure to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube.
Awkward. I'm the awkward silence. You try to avoid me, then there I am again.
But an awkward silence can be a great thing.
Like Kelly here is about to demonstrate.
You haven't really been yourself lately. Are you okay?
Find out how you can help a friend with their mental health at seizetheawkward.org.
Welcome back to Your School News. I'm Jason Dragala. As students return to school for the second semester under Plan B, the pandemic numbers are at an all-time high. In addition, health officials worry that the pandemic fatigue is setting in and the 3 W's are not being followed to their fullest extent. To help give us all a reminder on how to stay safe, we have 2 special features for today's show. First, we bring you a refresher video on how to properly wash your hands.
Hi, I'm Nurse Tammy, and I'm here today with my friend Jesus, and we're here today to go over how to properly wash your hands. Hey Jesus, now that we have COVID-19, we're going to practice this safety step every time we come to school. Step number 1 is washing our hands. All right? So what do we need to do first?
Rinse our hands.
Get our hands wet and rinse. So yes, we're going to turn on the water. It can be hot water, it can be cold water, it could be warm water, but step one is to get our hands wet, right? Okay, I'll wet my hands, you wet your hands. What is step number 2, Jesus?
Get soap.
Soap, all right. 1 squirt of soap for me, 1 squirt of soap for you. Now what? Step 3.
Rub your hands.
Rub our hands together. So we're going to rub the palms of our hands. Most people know this step. That's pretty good, but there's a whole lot more. What's the next part of your hands that you have to wash? The top. So let's scrub the tops and scrub the top of the other hand. Okay? Get both hands. What's the next step, do you think, Jesus?
Thumbs.
Our finger, or we can do thumbs, yep. We got 1 thumb here. Wrap your hand around your thumb and scrub. Wrap your other hand around the other thumb and scrub. And then you said it, what was the other part? The fingers, between your fingers, scrub them really good, both hands. Okay, and the next step, what do you think is next? Are we done?
No.
What?
Wash your hands.
Nope, there's one more. We missed a part of our hands. Our fingernails. So you want to scrub your fingernails into the palm of your hand and then reverse it and do the other side. Very good. We've scrubbed. Now what we do is we rinse. When you rinse, you want to make sure the germs go away.
Yep.
So they're going to go down the drain. Make sure your hands are facing down and you rinse off all that soap. All right, my turn's done, your turn. All that soap is gone. Are we done?
No.
What do we do next? Dry our hands. Right, so we're going to take a paper towel and dry our hands. Very good. And now what are we going to do next? Are we all done?
No.
What do we do next?
Use the paper towel to turn it off.
Perfect. Use that paper towel. We're going to turn off the sink. And now are we done now?
Go throw out the trash.
Go throw it. Let's go throw our towels away. Good job.
Remember, hand washing now is just as important to preventing the spread of COVID-19 as it was at the beginning of the pandemic. Our second feature tackles another one of the 3 W's, mask wearing. This is a great video to watch with younger students.
Hi, I'm Nurse Tammy, and I'm here today again with my friends Haley and Jesus, and we're here today to show you how to properly put on and take off a face mask. One of the requirements here at the New Hanover County Schools is that each child will come to school wearing a face mask. One of the last things you should do as you're leaving your house, either to get in a car or get on a bus and come to school, is to get your face mask on so you're ready to come to school. Step number 1 is to wash your hands. You want to have your hands all washed. So we're going to assume our hands have just been washed. Step number 2 is when you pick up your face mask, you should always pick it up by the earpieces. You want to make sure that you don't touch the mask part, okay? You also want to figure out which side is the front and which side is the back, okay? So in yours, can you turn yours around front and back? And you can see that one side is blue and one side is white on your paper mask. So the blue is always facing out. So hold your mask so it's facing out with the blue out. If you have a cloth mask like I do, you want to decide which is the front and the back. Mine actually has a filter pocket built into it where I put filters. So that filter pocket is the back of the mask, and the side that doesn't have the pocket is the front. So that's my front. Yours, mine is white, yours is blue. So now you know which is front and back. You're holding your earpieces. You also need to know which is the top and which is the bottom, because they can kind of look the same. So the top on yours is white and the bottom is white, right? But there is one place that has a little wire and it's a little bendable. Can you tell which side is the wire side? Which end is the top end? So that's the part that goes over your nose. So you want to make sure you're holding the wire up, front is out, only by the earpieces, okay? All right, now that you know which way to put the mask on, you're going to actually put it on your face so that it comes to your nose and around your ears. Try not to touch any part of the mask, okay? You want to make sure you pull it down so it goes under your chin by just touching it a little tiny bit, and make sure it's pinched over your nose on the top. And if you're wearing glasses like me, you're going to have to pinch, put your glasses up, make sure it's pinched, put your glasses back down so that your glasses don't get fogged up. Does that make sense? Okay. And that's how you put on your mask. Now it comes time to take it off. We're going to do the same kind of steps, okay? We're going to grab it just by the ears, and you're going to take it off this way. If you are done for the day with your mask, if it's a cloth mask like mine, you're going to rewash it. So this is going to go into the laundry, and you're going to use a new mask. If you have a paper mask like what you have, that would go into the trash because it's only designed to be used one day at a time, where this can be rewashed. Does that make sense? All right. Thank you so much for being my helpers, Haley and Jesus, and I hope that this has been a helpful tool for you.
Student safety is a top priority for New Hanover County Schools. Please remember the 3 W's and visit the school system's website for more information on Plan B and returning to school safely. Well, that's all we have for today's show. Keep it tuned here each week for all the latest from New Hanover County Schools. Be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter. I'm Jason Dergala. Thanks for watching.